So one of our new arrivals is one of the cutest little fur balls I've ever seen. So they are ridiculously cute. You cannot get enough of them. Welcome back to another episode of Shamwari TV. We are at the Wildlife Rehab Centre with loads to update you on. A lot has happened since our previous episode. We have received quite a handful of new patients. We've been extremely busy. And as you know, in the previous episode, we relocated Ntombi and her sheep called Frank from the hospital to the rehab centre. And we are just going to update you on how she's doing. So Ntombi, she is very round, very healthy and very happy. She is ruling the roost at rehab. It's like we are all working for her. And her friend Frank, the sheep, he kind of has it a bit wrong. He thinks he's in rehab and we gave him his own Rhino. So the two of them have come quite a long way. You can see their bond is very strong. They are inseparable. So in Ntombi, we've taken now the next step with the rehab program. We no longer feed her by hand. We have a very nice bucket feeding system which we can hook over the fence with a detachable teat. We pour the milk in via a bucket and she relates the bucket with milk. If she's not being fed, we take her on a long walk. We allow her to have access to the greater rehab centre as a way to give her some exercise, keep her stimulated, and just to help with her digestive system. It keeps her happy and it keeps her active. Frank, obviously, he gallivants with, and they take a very long romantic walk throughout the rehab centre until it's time to go back into their enclosure, which we generally pair up with feeding time. So one of our new arrivals is one of the cutest little fur balls I've ever seen. Her name is Tikka. She is a little Serval kitten. She's a couple of weeks old. Hello, Tikka. So it's pretty challenging to feed her. I first have to grab hold of her. She, for some reason, refuses to drink milk on her belly. And after many attempts, we noticed that she actually drinks really well lying on her back, which is quite strange, but a girl wants what they want. So we are going to grab her out of her little sleeping box, put her on her back, and then hope for the best. Hopefully she drinks very well this morning. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so with these kind of animals, you either have a glove or a blanket or three. And sometimes a glove is a bit in the way, so I just make use of a little blanket and just so that you don't get bitten or scratched. Okay, okay. Just okay, Tikka. Okay, Tikka. Okay, so Serval kittens, they're only weaned at about 5-6 months. So she unfortunately would still need her little baby bottle from us. This is pretty hands-on, so we are slowly working on transitioning her over to a bowl. But it's a slow process. Obviously, she's not really sure what to do with a bowl. We're wasting quite a lot of milk. So this is our best bet for now, but in rehab, it's one slow step at a time, so hopefully we'll get there. We are slowly introducing meat into her diet, but unfortunately she's too young to just be on meat. So we had a lovely surprise over the last couple of weeks. A while back, I noticed that one of our female meerkats, they were unusually round and fat, very plumpy and very aggressive and hormonal. So I thought, maybe there is something in the oven. We didn't want to get our hopes up too high. Obviously, in a wildlife rehab center, you do not encourage animals to breed. Our goal is to release them before they are sexually mature, but with meerkats, it's a whole entire different ball game, so it is something that can happen along the way. In this case, we are looking at the silver lining. If they are or were pregnant, we would be one step closer to our amount that we can release into the wild. And if not, well, then I've got nothing to lose. We noticed that the group's behavior is turning. There's a big difference. There's always just 3 out and about and 1 adult meerkat in the burrow system, which I thought he was maybe babysitting or something is going on. And it turns out that was the case. We have 4 baby meerkats, and I am just so happy because that means I'm one step closer to releasing these meerkats back to where they belong. Initially I thought we only had 2 babies, but turns out it was just the stronger, older 2 siblings that was brave enough to stick out their heads, while the other 2 were still in the burrow system being babysit. So they are ridiculously cute. You cannot get enough of them, and we will keep them in rehab until they are a couple of months old, just until they don't need mom that much anymore, and then I will start planning the big release, which will be out onto Shamwari. And then for just a quick update on the animals in the pre-release camp, we are planning a big release before the end of this year, where we will do the final release to majority of the animals in there. That includes our 3 fat buffalo friends, Petunia and her clan, and our very handsome young man called Gilbert, together with 2 warthogs, all of which will make their way out onto the reserve to have their final life of freedom. So Petunia, it's going really well with her. She has become quite cheeky. So we can no longer walk by foot in the pre-release camp because she definitely tries to size us up, which is great. It is, I won't say it's bad behavior, but yeah, it is going great. And then as for Gilbert, he has all of his girlfriends lined up through the fence, which means that by the time we release him, I think you can pretty much call him a ladies' man by now. So it's going to be hopefully a very smooth and successful release onto the reserve.